Happy Wednesday! Darnyelle is here. My desk is looking a mess. I normally try to move all of the papers up so you guys can't see them when I go live. I got a little excited and I forgot. All right, that's a little bit better. Happy Wednesday, just giving Facebook an opportunity to find some people for us to talk to. We are, as we always do, going to start out with some announcements. Once you arrive, say hello so I know that you are here. Say hello so I know who's watching with me. We're going to start with some announcements and then we'll jump in and then I'm going to take questions. So I have 30 minutes to spend with you guys today. Okay, this has nothing to do with anything, but I just really feel like I need to tell you guys. You notice I have on lashes. I put them on myself today. I'm so excited. I know, it's the little things. Hey, Marquise. Hey, Donald. Hey, Christina. How are you? Happy Wednesday. Listen, I know that the outcome in the world is still not known. You know, some people are upset right now. Some people are excited. I am ecstatic. And you know why I'm ecstatic? Because God is still God. So I wanted to talk today about focus and confidence. We'll start with some announcements. There is a new pop quiz live here in the group. So if you haven't already given us a response to it, make sure that you take a few moments and respond to the pop quiz. As you might recall, we pick a winner every time we do a pop quiz, and someone's going to win an IOE prize. You got to be in it to win it. So make sure you take a moment and give us your 2 cents on the pop quiz. Secondly, there is a new episode on the podcast. We are past breakthrough in business. And so we have a new episode on the podcast, Forgive to Scale. So one of the things we talked about 2 weeks ago at Breakthrough in Business is the role that forgiveness plays in your next level everything. Nobody wants to do it. We want to keep holding on to the things that the people who we've had in our lives have done to us. But that is actually contrary to us getting the things that God desires for us. So I did an episode on the podcast all about that. Okay. So you can go to incrediblefactorpodcast.com, or if you've already subscribed to the podcast, then you're going to get a notification that the new episode is ready. Next, tomorrow, November the 5th, I had to think about the date. 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am holding, I think we're doing it at 4 p.m. Hold on, let me verify that. Did I say 4 p.m. tomorrow? Is it tomorrow at 4 p.m.? Okay, tomorrow at 4 p.m., I'm asking my assistant. We are doing the After the Breakthrough group wrap-up session. So if you were at Breakthrough in Business, then you have an opportunity to come hang out with me tomorrow so we can debrief on the experience. Look at everything you've been doing since you've been back home. Make sure that you have a clear action plan of how you're going to go get to your next level, especially for those of you who did not take the step to invest in one of our Incredible Factor University programs. This is part of your enrollment in the event. It has not cost you, but it is only open to the people who register for Breakthrough. If you did not register to Breakthrough, sorry, you missed it. We're going to do some mindset makeovers and reframes. We're just going to make sure that you are set on a path and trajectory to continue to bring your next level everything into view. I'm also going to let you guys in on the next thing that we are working on. We're getting ready for our end of the year. I'm not sure if it's going to be an event or a challenge, but our end of the year thing, we're getting ready for that. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. If you were at Breakthrough, check your email so that you get all of the details so you can join me for our After the Breakthrough wrap up tomorrow. All right. I think that's all of my announcements. I just really wanted to create a space and open up a forum for you to be able to understand that your ability to go to your next level everything hinges on your ability to focus and your ability to exude confidence in all matters. You've heard me say this before, right? Your confidence will close more deals than your skills ever will, right? Your confidence is a direct connection to or a direct conduit to your connection to God, right? The Father, the creator of the abundant universe in which we all live, move, and have our being, right? Your ability to be in high connection to God is what's going to fuel your confidence. And here's the thing, y'all. Every single one of us was born confident. You were born confident. You were born a vessel of light and abundance. You were born confident. Somewhere along the way, you lost your confidence. I want to flip my lid on a regular basis because I see so many people who are charging pennies, and peanuts for the brilliance that they offer into the world. And it pisses me off. If I can just keep it 100 with you, it really bothers me. It really bothers me. One of my gifts is that I have the ability to look at someone and immediately not only see yourself the way that God sees you, but also see you the way that he intended for you to show up on the planet. That's a big part of my prophetic anointing, is that I get that, right? And that's why when I'm working with clients, I can show them the pathway to make $1 million, even when they're not ready, because not everybody has the mental capacity to do $1 million from day one. But hopefully, as we fine tune that confidence, we open up a portal to allow you to actually get to the $1 million mark, because that is truly what God has for you. He wants for you to be rich. Like, otherwise, what would be the point, right? So, I want to just share 3 quick things. I want to share 3 quick things with you about how you can focus on heightening your confidence. And then we're going to jump into Q&A, because I like to use this time to take your questions to make sure that you're getting some support here in the club. All right. So number 1, first thing we all need to do to constantly heighten our confidence is just remember who we are, right? Remember who we are and whose we are. Remember that the fact that you are here is because God thought of you before your mom's egg and your dad's sperm met. Like, that is so powerful to me right now, because many of you know that my husband and I are actively trying to conceive, right? I'm going to be 45 in 2 weeks. What's today? Today's the 14th. In 12 days, I'm going to be 45. I'm so excited. I love my birthday. I love this time of the year. And I don't feel slighted at 45 trying to have a baby, right? I don't feel like I should give up or anything like that. But the mere fact that before this baby is even conceived in my womb, God has already earmarked and preordained a destiny for it. Yo, listen. And you are part of this, right? Regardless of when you were born, before you came to be, before your mom and dad got together to do, honey child, please. God already said, let there be, and there was. God already determined the way that you would show up on the planet. He knew that on November the 4th, 2020, you would be doing what it is that you are doing right now. He knew that. Isn't that powerful? So if you would just allow yourself to sit in that, right? To sit in the fact that God preordained your existence, that should naturally heighten your confidence. And if that doesn't do it, number 2, one of the things I'm always recommending to clients is it's 2 parts. So number 2 is 2 parts. Part 1 is to create a compliments journal. I want you to start writing down the things that people say to you that you just kind of, swipe off. It's no big deal. But those things they're a premonition, for lack of a better way to describe it in this moment. They're a prophecy. They are a reminder when you're having a bad day and when you're questioning everything. So keeping track of all of the compliments and accomplishments that you have is a way to heighten your confidence, right? I keep an accomplishments journal, and there are times I flip back through my journal and I'm like, whoa, I did that, right? Doesn't it feel good when you realize that you did something that before then you thought you couldn't do it? I have my clients often do, and this is what I want you guys to put in the chat for me. Once impossible, now easy. Put something in the chat that once was impossible that's now easy for you to do. This is a way to heighten your confidence. This is a way to remind yourself that you're thebomb.com and you're the best who ever did it. And anybody who has the foresight to invest in themselves through you is about to experience a life change. And the thing is this, you got to believe it first, or you'll never be able to portray it out in the marketplace, right? You'll never be able to position yourself in a way to experience that if that's not the way that what your come from is, right? Does this make sense? Did you guys comment? Did you share with me what's something that used to be hard, but now used to be impossible, but now it's easy. I would like to see what your comments are. Markeith says, my podcast this week was on confidence. Yes, girl. Reese, I'll tell you at the time that is right. I'll tell you what he sees, what I see. Hey, let me see who else popped on. Hey, Brittany. Hey, Elisa. Thanks for joining us today. Hey, Adeline. Hey, Denise. Hey, Apollonia. I'm excited that you guys are here. I'm waiting for you to share with me something that was once impossible that's now easy for you. What was once impossible that's now easy? That's what I'm waiting for you to share with me. And then we're moving into questions. So I want you to queue up your questions. You can start putting your questions in the chat if you have a question. Apollonia says single parenting at 20. Yes. You didn't think you could do it. I don't think anybody wants to be a single parent, right? I don't think that that's the role that anybody wants, right? But you didn't think you could do it, but you did it, and you did it like a champ. Like, I can imagine how amazing your kids are, Apollonia. Bunny says, for me, it was that I was worth it. Yeah, you are worth it. Going live on Facebook, Joy says, giving clients little nuggets to help my program. Key points. Yes. And more yes. All of this stuff that we used to get our panties in a knot over, or our boxers in a bunch for the brothers who are watching, right? Now we realize that it's really not that big of a deal, that we can do it, and we can do it like a champ. Hey, Corey, thanks for joining us. Hey, Reese says, ironically, helping other women to show up confidently. I don't think it was impossible. I just think I was afraid to call it what it was and step out and do it. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that. So I think that, and I'll share the third thing around confidence in a second, but I think that it doesn't have to be as hard as you're making it, because again, you were born confident, right? Transforming your clients, Adeline says. So what's number 3 there? And I could go on and on and on about things that I could teach you as it pertains to confidence, but this is my favorite number 3. I remember when I used to belong to this church back in the day, and the pastor used to always say, sometimes you just got to take a look over your shoulder and see where you come from. Like, I almost did it just now, and I had to stop myself, because every time I do it, it creates an environment that sometimes is not right. So I'm just meaning that I get welled up in gratitude over what I've come from and where I am today, right? I don't know if I ever really thought that I would have $1 million company, right? I mean, if you know where I come from, listen, if you've never gone to nextleveleverything.tv, you need to go to nextleveleverything.tv. Could someone put that in the chat for me? nextleveleverything.tv. Hey, Winnie. Hey, Tremaine. Tremaine says, saying yes to my dreams is now easy for me to do. I love that, Tremaine. Marquise says, at one point in life, I thought a job career was my only way. However, I've now been on my own for 2.5 years. Yes, I love it. Hey, Narcissa. Hey, Nadine. How you guys doing? I'm so excited that you are here. Right? And so the last thing, so like I said, the pastor used to say, sometimes you just have to take a look over your shoulder and see where you've come from. And the way I want you to internalize that in your business is by creating a wall of fame. A wall of fame, a visual representation. You know how we have vision boards, right? Like, I have 2 vision boards right here over to my left. You know how we create vision boards, right? Well, I'm talking about creating a wall of fame, putting everything that you've ever accomplished on display. So I don't have one in this office. My office is really eclectic in style already, and there was just no space for it. So that's why I don't have it here. But my used to have wall of fame in my old house. I had all of my Mary Kay sashes on it, because you guys know that I used to be in Mary Kay and I was a top director. I earned 5 bumblebees. I think I have 5 Queen's Court of Sharing bumblebees, the diamond bumblebees. I was Queen's Court of Sales, Queen's Court of Recruiting. I was number 1 in my national area. So I had all of that on my wall of fame. But here's the thing I really want you to have, Tremaine. I love that you love the idea of this. I want you to take every client testimonial that you have on your website. Either you do it or you have someone on your team, if you have team support. Turn it into a JPEG. so that you can print out a picture of it. And I want you to put the client success stories on a wall of fame. And the wall of fame needs to be something you're looking at all day, every day. Because then we won't ever be questioning our confidence. We won't be questioning if we should charge that, right? We'll be able to show up in an energy that says, I'm doing my clients a favor to let them hire me at this investment. Listen, because this is not about worth, y'all. You already know that no one would be able to afford you if this was a worth thing. Because God created you. He created you. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, he said, I know and I approve. Tremaine, Teresa, Reese, Asha, who else is here? Every single one of you. Corey, Narcissa, LaQuisha. Hey, LaQuisha, Francisca, Nadine, Winnie. He said, Marquise. He said all of that. Right? So this isn't about worth. This is about you recognizing your value and holding your clients to your value in the marketplace. Charging according to the value, the transferable result that you bring to the table. So that's all I really wanted to share with you today. I just wanted to drop 3 little confidence nuggets because I know right now some of you are staking everything on the results of this election, but God is still God. That means it doesn't matter who wins, you're still winning. See, I'm building wealth no matter what. It doesn't matter who's in the White House, to be honest with you. No matter who's there, I'm still in my wealthy place. And I hope that you see it the same way and not allow yourself to get all off track and inundated by what it is that's going on, right? I put a post on my personal page that said your assignment is not going to change based on the results of the election. So don't get sidetracked by what's going on. Focus on your assignment. God has work for you to do, and you need to get to work, right? You need to definitely get the work done. Okay. All right. So I'm happy to take some questions. I don't see any questions right now, but who has a question? Who has a question that I can answer? Who has a question that I can answer? Y'all do this to me every time. Part of the reason why we changed the banner in the group is to remind you that Wednesdays at noon, I'm going live. Now, there are some times that I won't, but in general, Wednesdays at noon, I'm here for you. So, for those of you who will watch this in the replay, we're going to post this to our YouTube channel. If you watch this in the replay, if you want to get in on this, then you should join us in the 6-Figure Cashflow Club on Facebook. 6figurecashflowclub.com is where you should come, right? That's where you should go. You can also, if you want to learn about working with me, then you can go to darnyelle.com/weekend, and you can learn more about my entry program, Leverage and Scale Weekend. Marquise says, we are in alignment today. I posted in my stories, we win. Yes, 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 yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Exactly. And we live and move by biblical principles. Absolutely, Narcissa. Questions. Okay, here we go. Here we go with a question. Joyce says, how will we find out the cost of Facebook ads, and if now or when is a good time to use ads now that the election is over and costs should be going down? Yes, costs should be going down. Unfortunately, you know what? I don't know the answer. I'm going to tell you what I think, but I could be totally wrong, Joyce, and I'm okay saying that. You won't know the cost of your ads. Like, you set a budget. So you, regardless of what it's going to cost to get a person to click or take the action you want, you set a budget. So if your daily budget is $10 or $25, the way that $10 or $25 stretches is going to determine on the cost of the ads. If I were you, would wait a few more days. The election was just yesterday and they haven't announced the winner yet. So I would probably, if you can, I would wait until we have a winner. Like, I knew that the winner wasn't going to be announced overnight. Like, I knew that. That was just, there was no way that was going to happen. I would probably wait until Friday or Saturday. And again, this is the world according to Darnyelle. I could be all the way wrong. And I'm okay being all the way wrong if that is in fact the case. Okay. So Chandra has a question. To piggyback on her question, how do you find someone to do Facebook ads? If you're looking for someone to do the ads for you, I do have a person I can refer you to. He does not work with everyone, but I'm happy to do the connection to see whether or not you're the right fit. I will tell you, if you have the bandwidth for it, it's cheaper for you to learn it than to hire someone to do it for you. I'm just keeping it real with you. And the reason I say that is because the average Facebook ads manager is going to charge anywhere from $1,800 to $3,000 a month to manage the ads, and that's in addition to your ad spend. Some of them have a requirement of how much you must spend in order to even be their client. And those are the good ones. So if you can learn the skill, then that is what I would recommend. And if you're looking for a place to learn the skill, I highly recommend Marquel Russell. He is a client. I have attended his 3-day Rapid Business Growth live. So I highly recommend him. Narcissa says, I cannot wait until February to work with you. Woo, woo, woo. I can't wait either. Okay, I saw another question. Christina says, I have a question, but it's long. Last week I was approached about offering a service that I've not offered before. They gave a budget and I gave them an estimate, and that was about 60% of their budget. I gave them a paid in full option and a payment plan that was a 50-50. The service is for web design. They now want to adjust the payment terms to an 80-20 payment plan at the paid in full price. Should I agree to change? After looking at other website agreements, I saw that it might be standard to have the balance due closer to the design completion. So let me make sure I'm understanding you correctly, Christina. You're saying that they want to pay you 80% now and 20% when the project is done? If that is what you are saying and you are comfortable with it, then absolutely I would do that. You definitely want to make sure you get paid something before, but it shouldn't be at the pay in full. The only way they get the pay in full is if they pay all of it up front. If they want an option to make a payment on it, then they're paying the non-payment price, the payment plan price. Don't try to say that 3 times fast. So only way they get the pay in full is if they give you all of the money up front. If they want to do 80-20 or 50-50, it's all the same. You're not getting paid before you complete all of the work, so they don't get the incentive or the savings that you were offering them for for the payment plan versus pay in full. So that's my 2 cents. That's what I would say. In the future, Christina, post this question to me in the client group. You don't have to, you're a paying client, right? You're a client. So you can post this in the client group to get some support around it. Like the next time, if you're working on something and you need some help with pricing and all of that kind of stuff, definitely do that. Especially because I remember seeing up there that your price was only 60% of their budget. So I would be interested to know what that is, but I don't want you to share that here. Joy says, thanks. And a follow up about how long should be given to run the ads when you're trying to get persons to sign up for a webinar. At minimum 7 to 10 days. And the reason why, Joyce, because the first 3 days they're learning the ad. So the first 3 days you get very little results. It's not indicative of how successful the ad is going to be. You also want multiple ad sets running at the same time. So we typically create 2 to 3 different ad sets that are running, and then we turn off the one that's not performing, but we give at least 7 to 10 days for anything that we're doing. I was in a BSN and I referenced Abraham. I've gotten pushback from Abraham Hicks. Just wondering your thoughts as a Christian. Okay, so this is a great question, Teresa. So let me say this. I subscribe to the doctrines of Christianity. Okay, so let me tell you what I mean by that, because that can hang people up. That means I love Jesus, but I'm not down for organized religion. So my God is not in a box. I love Abraham. I love the teachings of Abraham. There are many things that I love, and I don't do this for sport, and I don't do this for other people. I do this for God. And my mission, my mantle, my mandate is to show people the fullness of God. Are there things that in New Age maybe you shouldn't do? Yeah, but you got to discern your spirit and determine that, right? Because this is the way that I believe. And I'm not saying my way is right, but I know that when I check in with God and how it feels in my spirit, it works for me, right? The Bible says, let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind, right? So it's not my job to convince anybody, nor should it be yours. That's imposing judgment, and none of us have a heaven or a hell to put anybody in, right? And so, I never watched The Secret. I was afraid to watch The Secret because during The Secret days, I was a super saint. I was the girl that was a walking biblical cliche, right? I was just over the top with it. But I didn't know God. I'm the one who dusted off her Bible on Wednesday and Sunday, okay? But I was a super saint. And then I had, actually, let me go back even before that. I had a devastating occurrence in my life. My first ex-fiance confessed that he had gotten an older woman in our church pregnant, and the bottom fell out of my life. And I didn't run from God, but I did leave the church, and I sought God in a new way. And so during that time, I read the Bible, not just cover to cover, but for interpretation. I read the Quran and I read the Torah, the three greatest religious books ever written. And what I learned, this is what Darnyelle learned for Darnyelle's self, is that the text in these books is not much different. And the principles of God are the principles of God. And so I'm about the principles of God. And this is what I want to say to you. I want to say to you that God's principles work everywhere, but church principles only work in church. So I don't get caught up in religious titles, right? And I am not going, I think God can speak and use anybody, which is why I'm down with Abraham. Like, I mean, do I go, I've been to one of her events. I've been to one because I wanted to experience it. And it was amazing. It was amazing to see her prophetic voice rise in the way that it did, in the way that it was amazing. I felt God's presence in that room. Because I know God, because I know the Spirit of God that ruminates through me, I don't get caught up in that stuff. So I think with everything, you have to try the Spirit by the Spirit. And are you doing it as unto man, or are you doing it as unto God? Right? And as long as you don't make any of these things out to be a God, then you're good, right? And so I believe God is in everything. And I think that if we allow God to speak to us however he wants to speak to us, then we can have an experience with him that is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Marquis says there's always pushback when people really do not have a true relationship with. You better say that again. That is so true. That is so true, Marquis. And I subscribe to that 100%. So yeah, so awesome, Teresa. I'm glad that helps you, that edifies you. Not unto man as unto God. And who cares? Like, my favorite book I've ever written in my life, read in my life, What You Think Is Me Is None of My Business by Terry Cole Whitaker. She breaks it all the way down. And so I think the more that we become less concerned about what man has to say and more concerned about what God has to say, the more free we will be in our spirits to truly surrender. And in that surrender, walk ourselves in the next level everything. And that's what I'm here for, Teresa. Is I want people to experience next level everything because they've interacted with me and I've introduced them to God in a new way. Like, I've had people say to me that they never knew God like this. They didn't know the fullness of God because they put him in a religious box. And I don't want religion to keep you from knowing the fullness that is God. Like, that's what I'm in it for. So that just made my spirit feel really, really good. Winnie says the principles in all three books are similar. Yes, ma'am. Oh my God, I was just reminded of Romans 14:5. Natasha says, hey, Natasha. Hey, Nee. Oh, Christina, my price was 60% over their budget. Whoa, that's what I'm talking about. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Winsome says, hey, Darnyelle, would you say that lack of clarity around your incredible factor impacts your confidence level? Oh, I don't know if I would have ever said that had you not asked the question, Winsome. But yes, I can totally substantiate that if you're not clear about your hot, undeniable gift, your signature business move, and your unique value proposition, it will impact your confidence. For those of you who aren't clear about those things, I do highly recommend that you go download the Incredible Factor worksheet, Darnyelle.com/Incredible Factor. It's a powerful tool. I'm actually thinking about, I haven't done it yet, but I'm thinking about creating like a little mini lesson to go with it to help people even more around that. But yeah, I would definitely say that. All right, let's see. Did I miss any other questions? I'm being taught that in all my getting to get an understanding, which is not limited to any one particular. You better go ahead, Natasha. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, like when we are defined by the denomination or the religious sect, we are limiting God. We are limiting God. And he doesn't want to be limited. He wants to be the fullness. He wants to give you his fullness, right? And you don't get to experience his fullness if you're concerned about this one says this and this one says that. Other questions? What other questions can I answer? Y'all got me all excited. I'm going to stay a couple more minutes. I'ma stay another couple minutes. Yeah, if I do the lesson, I'm not sure if it's going to be free to accompany the module or it's going to be an upgrade to get that. But yeah, just FYI, just putting that out there. Other questions? What other questions can I answer? How can I support you guys? Well, while you guys are thinking, let me drink a little bit of water. Hey, Denise. Thanks for joining us. Questions? Any other questions? I need to give a shout out to Marshawn Evans Daniels. She is the one who told me how to do my lashes. I need to send her a text message to tell her that I tried her tip and I got lashes on. It was so easy. That has nothing to do with anything, but y'all not asking questions, so I'm going to spend the time the way that I want. Questions. What questions can I answer? If you're interested in our merchandise, the Incredible Factor merch, you can go to Darnyelle.com/shop. Darnyelle.com/shop. I'm going to hang out for a few more minutes. Okay, Joy says another one. If we're looking to grow our list, wouldn't we increase our audience for Facebook ads to include more than our current? I'm not can you restate your question, Joyce? I'm not sure what you're asking me. And while you restate, Marquise says, what do you do if your testimonials do not speak to your current offers? It doesn't matter. Now, one of the things that I do, though, is if I change a program and it's still based on that original program, I just go in and update the testimonial to say, so like, for instance, when I joined the Business Growth Accelerator, in parentheses, we would say Business Growth Accelerator is now Leverage and Scale Weekend. So, like, that's what I would do. But it doesn't matter. It's about the transformation that you give people and that you get results. What are a few steps to keep confidence high? Miles, you must have joined us late because I shared 3 tips for confidence. One was to remember who you are, right? Remember who you are and whose you are. Remembering that before you were formed in your mother's womb, God knew and approved you. There is nothing to be not confident about. You were born confidence, right? That's number 1. 2 is to create a compliments and accomplishments journal. And 3 is to create a wall of fame. If you want the details on that, go back to when we're done, go back and watch the replay and you'll get the breakdown for all of that. All right, let's see. The Facebook ads that were done for me were to Christian women, but I'm thinking I should include men in person open to business with biblical principles as I want to expand and help people that are not Christians as well. Okay, so what's what's your question? Now that you gave me that, what are some ways I can build my email list when you are new to business? Okay, so stop saying you're new to business because don't nobody care. The only person who cares about you being new is you, and that's a limiter. That's a self-sabotaging belief that you're saying. So you need to create a good free offer. Think of it like if you, I don't know, depending upon where you live, you have Baskin Robbins or like Rita's where you can go in and they give you the small pink spoon and you can get a sample. You need to create an amazing sample. So you need to get clear about who your ideal client is and what the problem is they're most trying to solve. And then you need to start them on the journey towards solving that problem with your free gift as a part of your marketing sequence. And then you need to put it everywhere, right? So you can do it organically by posting it on social media. You can do videos about it, but that's where I would start. You need a great offer and then you need to circulate it to get people to sign up for it. Advice for testimonials from past events that you didn't originally capture. Are you still in touch with people that you can reach out to them and get them to share a testimonial with you, Brittany? That's what I would recommend. You're welcome, Tremaine. I would reach out and see if you can get people to give you a testimonial. Even if you just reach out to them on LinkedIn and ask them for a recommendation, I would do that. All right, I got about 5 more minutes, y'all. 5 more minutes. I'm going to hang out with you and then I got to go because I need to record some content today. So Joyce, I don't know if you're still here, but I would restate your question if you are, because I understand that you want to broaden your audience. Okay, so your question is, would it be a good idea to expand the Facebook ads to target more than the type of client that I currently work with, so that next time I run them? Yeah, I would focus less on the type of person and more on the problem that you solve. Because there are a lot of different people who need that problem solved for them. It's okay to say you want to work with Christian women, but I have a different stance on whether or not we should limit a niche, right? Because that's basically what you're doing, is you're creating a niche or niche, depending upon how you describe it or pronounce it. And I have a different philosophy on it. I personally do not have a niche. Or if I did, my niche is really broad, service-based entrepreneurs. Because I'm more focused on the problem that you have than who you are in terms of how you describe yourself. So you can continue to focus on how people describe themselves, but Christian women is way too broad. You need to be Christian women who, what is the problem? And it can't be Christian women who are business minded. That's still way too broad. And that's not a problem. So you need to drill down on the problem that it is that you solve. But yes, I would say open it up, unless you are absolutely hard and fast that you only want to work with Christian women, which is not a bad thing. Specialization is scalable as long as you have offers for them. I'm hosting a challenge at the end, and at the end, I'm inviting members to join my coaching program to start in January. Challenge ends on Saturdays. For those who enroll, what would you do between time while waiting? Would you move the start date up? Not necessarily, but I would give them pre-work. Like what, because honestly, if you are doing it now, you are early because you don't need to do that much time. But I would design some pre-work for them to be doing in the month of December. Well, I guess the month of November and December, since it ends so early. So yeah, I would do that. Or I would potentially move the program up to December 1st, depending upon what's the reason why it starts January 2021, Reese? Was there a specific reason for that? I'm just waiting for you to give me some more insight. And this is going to be my last question, responding to Reese, and then I'm going to roll out. But I thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. So I talked about several links. I talked about going to nextleveleverything.tv. If you have not watched my videos on my story, I would highly recommend that. If you would like to look at our merch, go to darnyelle.com/shop. And if you're interested in working with me, go to darnyelle.com/weekend. All right. So Teresa, my personal commitments and time to serve them. Okay. So then, yeah, you need to come up with some pre-work. Correct, Winnie. Thanks. That helped. The person who helped with my ads asked me questions about my current clients and their likes. So next time I will open up the questions. You're welcome. Okay, yeah. So it's too early for you to be doing the challenge. Okay, so let me just say this real quick. I mean, it's done now, so I don't want to take anything away from what it is you've already done. But in the future, think about your end game and what you want people to do before you create your awareness generating activity. Because a challenge is a launch generator. So it creates awareness and it leads into the revenue generating thing that you're going to do. So you want to line it up where you don't necessarily have all that space, or you need to have components that are available for them right now so that as they enroll, they can start doing the work. They don't have to wait. Because I'm not going to be excited about paying you and nothing happens until January when it's November the 6th or 7th. So you want to definitely come up with some pre-work that you can do, even if it's not, all of the things that the program starts with. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you for hanging out with me. I want to thank you for your time and your attention. For those, again, of you who will watch this in the replay, #replay. Go check out those links, and I'll see you again. Actually, you won't see me next week. Next week, I'm going to be on vacation. It's my anniversary next Wednesday. 3 years. Hey. So you won't see me next week. You'll see me again the week after that. But in the meantime, be better, be stronger, more than anything, be incredible. God loves you, and so do I. Talk to you guys later. Take care.